I'm exhausted. I've got a headache and I'm here making this video. Before I even start, I got new glasses and there was this thing, they were like, hey, do you want your eyes to be protected from like technology? And I was like, yeah, girl, totally. Like, I use technology all the time. I need to be protected. And I didn't know this, but it turns out they add this little tint. So it's reflective, so you're gonna be able to see everything. Anyway guys, welcome back to another video. I'm gonna be a little low energy in this one because I'm exhausted and I just came back from class. It's Thursday. I'm filming this just because yesterday I actually got my grade back for this course that I'm gonna be talking about. This summer I did a Intersession course. Basically what Intersession courses are, if you don't know, is they're 12-week courses that are condensed into 6 weeks. So half the semester essentially can be taken up with a Intersession course. People do this in the summer because they want summer off, but they still want some credits. It's like a you get the best of both worlds, kind of. I didn't take it for that reason. I took it because I needed to take this course. I didn't need to, but it was in my schedule and I wanted to. But it was only available in Intersession, so I was like, why not? How hard can it be? It was hard. This course is called POL 150. I'm not going to tell you who I took it with, who my professor was. That's a little bit too much information, but I'm sure you can figure it out. There is the internet. Science, Policy, and Innovations, what it's called. 3-credit course. Essentially what I had was two 2-hour lectures per week and 2 1-hour tutorials per week. So on Monday and Wednesday at 9:30 I would come in for my tutorial, and then at 10:30 I'd have my lecture until 12:30 and I'd go home after. I preferred my tutorial before my lecture because I wanted to go home early. I didn't want to stay in campus. Other people didn't do that. Again, that's just your choice. So the first day I got to this lecture and I was told by the professor that it's gonna take a lot of work, and it did, and that the average for this course is usually a C+. That's not good. I didn't want a C+. I wanted a much higher grade, and I can successfully say I had obtained that grade because I just got my grade yesterday and I'm so happy. I'm not gonna tell you my grade. Don't want to tell you my grade, basically, is why. I can say that it is very good for the standard and the average that this class has. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about what it entailed. So again, this is a 6-week course that technically we're learning things that we're supposed to learn in 12 weeks. It's very, very, very fast. We had 2 quizzes per week because we had 2 lectures per week. You can think of it as if 1 week was 2 weeks combined. And each quiz we had to read 2 readings on top of the readings that we had to read for lecture. So essentially you were doing 4 readings for Monday, because I had a Monday and Wednesday, 4 readings for Monday, 4 readings for Wednesday. As you can see, your life can be taken over and controlled by just this course, and this was not the only course I was doing at the time. I'm still doing the courses that I was doing alongside this, which is history and IAT. I'll talk a little bit about the kind of assessments and projects that there were. So again, 2 quizzes per week, and then we also had a outline, a paper, and a final. So if you think about it, in the bigger picture, there wasn't a lot of projects, but there were a lot of quizzes. And the quizzes were difficult. You had to be able to read, you've had to have read the readings and understood them, and even like looked at and like familiarized yourself with them. That was probably the hardest part for me because there was just so much content. What I ended up doing was I ended up only reading the readings the quiz were on. So instead of reading 4 readings for Monday, I read 2 readings for Monday and 2 readings for Wednesday. Basically how the class was structured was that the 2 readings that the quiz was on was last week's reading or last classes. So the readings given for Monday's lecture were quizzed in Wednesday's lecture. And the readings given for Wednesday's lecture was quizzed the following Monday. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how it was structured. So that's kind of how I approached it. I didn't do, at the beginning I did like the 4 readings per class, but that was just too much for me. I'm sure if you have good time management and this is the only course you're taking, you could have sit on top of it much better than I did. But for what I had in my schedule, this technique worked for me. And then we had, and in tutorial we actually talked a lot about the readings and about the quizzes, which really helped, and it helped me gain a more understanding of kind of what the content I was learning. Additionally, we were given a study sheet, and the study sheet was filled with keywords and terms and questions that were hidden in like the readings. So you would read the readings and be like, oh, I know this now, check it off my study checklist, and that actually helped me condense everything down when it was time to study for the final. The outline and the paper were graded separately, obviously. Outline was first, and the outline I would say was the hardest for me. Aside from my quizzes, my worst mark was in my outline. It wasn't a bad mark, so I was actually really good for the average in the class, but not where I wanted it to be. Then I got my paper back, and my paper mark was better, and my final, which I'm assuming based off my final grade calculations, was even better. So at the end, everything worked out, but it was just a lot of time management and looking over the study sheet we were given, and really just starting the assignments ahead of time. Like, if I had an assignment due Wednesday, I would have started the week before Tuesday. That's, again, just me. You can do it in a different way, but that's what I did. In the end, do I recommend you take this course? I would say yes. This course was very interesting. Even when I hated it and was just overwhelmed, I was still appreciating what I was learning, and the content was relevant. We talked about politics, innovation, scientists, just like what the course is centered around. And in the end, I feel like I left the course knowing more than I came in. And you know, if that happens, the course is definitely worth taking. So even with all the stress, all the drama, I had a great peer group with me. My tutorial group was wonderful. I wouldn't have changed them for the world. The people I sat with in lecture was also my tutorial group. We just supported each other to get through this term, basically, this course. I feel like if I was on my own, it would have been a lot harder. But I had people I could rely on and ask questions and be like, hey, how do I do X, Y, and Z? And in the end, when I walked into that final exam, I walked in confident, ready, and I walked out very happy. That's kind of all I have to say. If you have any questions, let me know. I won't be answering specifics like who the professor was, who the TA was, you know, what classroom I was in, which campus I was in. I'm not gonna answer those. That's just because of privacy reasons. What grade I'm getting, I'm not gonna tell you that. Sorry. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Seven nights, flashing lights, and the DJ's spinning, everybody out on the dance floor singing.